Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I received a request on YouTube to go through and do some content kind of around the tab control, maybe build out an editor. It was more of a request for a full IDE, and I'm like, that's a little too much. But tab editor controls, those are a thing. I've shown a lot of apps, and recently I've done a lot of layouts with like the navigation rail. But this was more around building kind of that Visual Studio style, maybe browser-based kind of tabbed interface and how to manage that with MVVM. So I figured, sure, why not? Let's knock it out. How hard can it be? I think it won't be that hard. So we're going to try. Let's take a look. Okay, so there is a repo I have that I don't know if I've updated in a while. It's been a while. I used to dump a lot of samples in here, and recently I've put stuff elsewhere, but we're going to go back to using it. So for those who haven't seen it, the material design library, I put together an example repo with just all kinds of stuff. Things are sometimes targeting a very particular version of the library. So if it seems, something's old, probably is. But it's just kind of loaded with various examples. And I think this time around, we're going to play in the MVVM area because that's kind of what this is designed for. So we are going to also then go and grab, we're going to go from 0 here real quick. Let's see. I would like to install my template. Welcome, Joshua. You got a promotion in case you did notice. And thank you for the sub. Okay, so we're going to start here. Install templates. Boom. Latest version of the template. Off to the races. Okay. All I have done so far, I will just call your attention to it, is I've made a directory. Okay? Nothing fancy. If we check it, it's an empty directory. Nothing's there. So, .NET, new, kaboo.wpf, and we're going to go help real quick because I want to look at the options I left myself. And specifically here, I think what I want is no SLN, and I want no tests. Because we're gonna go fast and loose on this one. So, bippity boppity booyah, full app. There we are. See how easy that was? Easy mode. Easy mode. Okay, so we're gonna add a project to the existing solution. Oh wait, that was not add existing. Add existing project. There we go. 1 second here, real quick. It did not default to the starting directory. I thought it would. Disappointing. Okay. Let's see. Text editor. Oh, it's down a directory. Let's go pull it up a directory before we do anything too fancy. I'm going to move this real quick again. I don't want to accidentally scroll and show something I'm not supposed to. I don't think there's anything wrong in my directory, but you never know. You never know. You never know. Okay. So we're going to go pull this up because my template pushes everything down a level. And I think I don't want any of this anyway. Yeah, we're going to throw all that away. I should probably look at improving my template when you do no solution so it doesn't do that. Well, whatever. Pull this up. Paste. Good. Okay. Now let's add it in. We're just going to do it. Boom. Boom. Text editor. Text editor. Okay. Set as startup project so that we are off to the races, and we're just going to fire it up to make sure it works. It should load. It should restore all the NuGet packages. Everything should be happy. Unless, of course, it's not happy. Bundled theme does not exist in the namespace. Oh, because it assumes, that's funny. Okay. Yeah, it is making some assumptions on. Oh boy. Okay, I kind of shot myself in the foot doing this. Because this is assuming centralized package management, and that is not the case. So let's do this. We'll rev that guy in. So this should just be a simple matter of if I rev all the packages in here, it should just set them all for me and fix up my versioning. Since I didn't give it a version, it's defaulting to whatever ye oldest is, which is not great. Come on. Come on, little Visual Studio. You can do it. Yeah, package is deprecated. Yeah, don't use version 1.0 of Microsoft Extensions Dependency Injection. Not shocking. It's deprecated. Probably because it's ye old. Surprised some of these aren't even older than that. Okay. Launch. Come on. STA thread couldn't be found. How about launch? Pretty please. I assume that one was just a matter of it was assuming global usings that were then in files that I deleted. Huzzah! We've got a working app. Click, file, clear count, boom, file, exit. Okay, sweet. Template's working. Everyone's happy. I'm happy. I just clean up my .NET new template to make it work better when I don't want full solution. Regardless. Okay, so this is going to be full MVVM community toolkit. For those people who haven't seen it, I've got a video. If you search community toolkit, you will find it. The important things to note are we have attributes and source generators, so we don't have to write much boilerplate at all. Okay, so I think what we're going to do is we're going to go with a fairly simplistic interface. So on our main window, I'm thinking what we're going to have is we're going to keep the grid. We're going to keep the menu item at the top. Rather than, so menu will add some stuff to it in a bit. But the main control here is going to be a data-driven tab control. And then maybe we'll do a little toolbar, status bar, or something at the bottom. Like very Visual Studio-esque. A little bit. Kind of browser-esque. Whatever. But our goal is going to be to just slap some of that stuff in. So, step one. Tab control. Okay. Now, a tab control is also itself a items control, which means it has an item source. Okay. And if you type correctly, what should we call our collection? Tabs? Let's call it tabs. That seems reasonable for now. Okay, so let's go build that out. We don't need increment count. We don't need clear count. We don't need any of that. All of this kind of goes bye-bye. You're all going to disappear. Great. Be gone. Okay, so we do want a public partial class tab view model, and it's also going to be an observable object because I can spell. And then we will auto code to victory. Move that. Oh, I don't have Karnak running, do I? There we go. Okay, so we got one of these things. I'm thinking we're going to start simple. Let's see. Private string header title. Let's go title. And we'll do something like observable property. Boom. Oh, nullability isn't enabled because I don't have it. Boom. Okay. Yeah, I should clean up my .NET new template so that it works nicely with individual projects. Would not be that difficult to do. Okay. Okay, so there's that, and let's come back here. Okay, so key thing here is we need a collection of these tab items, so tab view model, and I think what we said we were going to do is call them tabs. Okay, so the important thing here is we are creating an observable collection that will automatically update as we add and remove items to it. And we're going to want the tab controls to be able to close themselves, so let's do a relay command, public void close. We'll have to implement that, but we'll add it in. And because we want to be able to access this collection from various threads, what we're going to do is binding operations enable collection synchronization. So inside of WPF, this is how you ensure that you can access your observable collection from a background thread. The important thing to note is you do need to invoke this method from the UI thread itself in order for it to work. Okay. And then let's do a relay command, public void, I don't know, new tab. Oh, Copilot, you're showing off. Stop it. Stop it. Okay. And we will set a title on this for the moment. Tab plus tabs dot count. I mean, this is going to be just enough to get it working, right? Get it going first. Okay, so we're going to come back up here, menu rather than clear count command. Do something like this, and we will do new tab command. Boom, done. That will get me a new tab command. This will get me a collection. Let's close up the tab control. Let's do tab control item template. And this is where the tab control gets a little funky. So my thing is bothering me, but that's okay. Let's see. Data type, and we want to specify it. Let's see. Tab view model. So we have that. What's your problem? Oh, it's just not compiled, so it doesn't know that it needs to do it. Okay. That opens that up. That makes that happy. Okay, and then I think what we're going to also need, tab control, because there's the item template, which I believe will bind, let's see, title. Then we need tab control content template. Let's see, data template. And this is going to be the same thing. Data type, X type, local tab view model. And then stop collapsing on me. I should go turn that setting off. It's kind of annoying me. Text block, text, content here. And because I abhor the color fuchsia, we will use the color fuchsia. There we go. Great. Let's see if this works, at least for adding tabs. Okay, so first thing I'm noticing, this is not in the right place. So I'm an idiot. I did not put it in the correct grid row. So we're going to start there. Boom, there. Tab 0. Tab 1. Okay, let's change this to binding title. Okay, so we've got a header, we've got a side. We do have a bit of an issue with the way it's sizing these things up for the moment, but we aren't going to deal with that yet. So let's start here. Let's go with a stack panel. Wow. Yeah, that's pretty close. Copilot, you are on point. So in case you're wondering how to do this, you enable GitHub Copilot, and then you let it write all the code for you. I think we're going to actually do a pack icon here instead, though. Material design, pack icon. Oh, you're probably not going to autocomplete while I'm... let's see, kind, and I think there's a close one, if I remember. And we might do close box. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, file, new. It's not great, and more importantly, this button has the wrong style, and that's not really what we want. So let me grab a new folder here real quick, and we're gonna just go grab the material design demo project. Let's see. So if we go demo, bin, debug, whatever my latest build is probably good enough. Okay, so let's go here. We're going to look at buttons. And I think in this case, I just kind of want the flat button style. So this kind of thing here. And we might go, let's just do the mid one. So we'll just grab this style here. Grab that. Slap that on. Check out our app. There. It's not positioned well. It's got some sizing, layout issues, but that, and let me actually do this. Background white or wheat, that'll work. I don't care. I just want to see where the thingy is. But sometimes it's a little hard to figure out where everything is actually positioned at. And you'll note when I hover over the button, you get that kind of outline thing. So part of the issue is this button is going to have some sizing and some padding set on it, and we don't want any of those. So without opening up the material design stuff, one of the easy ways to do this is you just grab Snoop, dial in on the button, and you can see Snoop has the nice red outline around the control. So once I use the crosshairs by the binoculars, I held down Control Shift in order to be able to have Snoop automatically seek me into the control that I want. And so if we come over here, we can see there's a button, and I'm thinking I want to try some like padding. Yeah, so padding is got a bunch. Zero that sucker. That works well. Let's see. Vertical alignment is stretch, and I kind of want top. Vertical content alignment, top. That gets me a little better. So what we want to do here, we want to go vertical alignment, top. Vertical content alignment, top. And we want what was the padding that was too big. So we're going to take the padding down to 0. Though I think we are going to slap a left margin on there a little bit. Let's do 8. 822. Something like that. It's the wrong app. Let's try that again. Yeah, that's not bad. Yeah, we'll go with that for now. Okay. So that's going in there. The ripple effect on the tab is kind of annoying, but whatever. We'll deal with that in a little bit. Okay, so close command is not working. We need to implement that. So this is oftentimes where people get themselves kind of wrapped around the axle a little bit, is they've got a tab view model. There's a parent main window view model. And the question is, to close a tab, we actually want to do something up here where we modify the collection. And there's a couple ways to go about doing this. Is the main window view model could go through and like register for an event. Maybe we add a, on this guy, we could do something like public, let's see, event handler, request close. All right, we could do something like this and have the main window view model register for the event to keep track of it. The big issue with the event registration is then main window view model also has to make sure to unregister appropriately. Not a big deal. We can keep track of things in here. I personally like something a little cleaner. So my personal preference of way of doing this is to leverage the iMessenger inside of here. We take the messenger, create an assigned property. Please be private. I don't want you public. And then if we do, let's create a new message class. Public record class, request tab close message, and we can actually send the tab through as part of this. So we do messenger.send, do this, and we'll pass ourselves through. And the important thing here is with these message classes, it's really up to you. You can define whatever payload you would like as part of this. So clean up that using. And then the main window view model is the one that actually wants to receive it. And we'll deal with this guy here in a moment. Let's see. So he's going to need the messenger. And we're going to go ahead and make you private, because until I needed you exposed, let's keep you nice and small. And then we are going to go through and register to receive the message. So it's an I recipient. Let's see, request tab close message. Boopity booyah. And then we say something like messenger register all. And pass it ourselves. Okay, so I personally, when I do these receives, I like using explicitly implemented interface members, simply because it keeps the public API of my main window view model a little bit cleaner, and it makes it clear that the only reason this receive method should ever be invoked is as part of this iRecipient for the message class, rather than just kind of willy-nilly. So here we've named it request tab close, but we aren't going to prompt the user or anything yet. We might do, you know, unsaved changes type thing in a little bit, but for now we're just going to keep it simple. Tabs dot remove message dot tab. Done. So now in theory we have close implemented too. We're going to come here, file new. Oh, I left that background color in there. That's ugly. Let's turn you off. I don't want to see that. Yeah, we still have the ugly fuchsia, but we'll deal with that in a minute. I'm surprised this thing isn't vertically aligned. Didn't I vertically align you? Something may be a little off there. But close, new, 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 right? I can toggle tabs. I can close tabs now. And we've got at least that much implemented. I am curious on this alignment. I don't want to spend too much time on it, but take a quick look. I realize I'm also kind of speed running this, so feel free to slow me down if I'm going too quick, because I have a tendency to do that. Let's see. Give me the... Where is... Let's see, where am I? Tab control, header zone, header, content, scroll viewer, tab item, root, color zone for the head, selection border, grid, border, content presenter, ripple, grid, content presenter, stack panel. Got it. So this guy is tiny. So it is aligned appropriately. It's just that top margin is messing with my head. There. Let's do vertical alignment bottom. Gonna have to make not using explicit interface meditation and analyzer warning. Definitely the best way to do it. Yeah, it's mostly around, I've seen people use it, invoke those methods too much directly. Like, oh, I've already got that. I've already got the logic here. Why don't I just do it here? Right? And if I end up needing this in another place, a much better solution is to create a method called something like, you know, private void. We'll just do this. Close tab. Let's see. Tab view model. Right, and it seems silly, but there's a method to the madness, right? So do this, and then we call close tab, right? Because at the end of the day, the receiver of the message should be doing one thing: receiving the message and calling the appropriate logic. If I need to share that logic elsewhere, it's better to move that logic into a method that can be easily shared, rather than having something else call this receive. So this is by far my preferred way of structuring it, just because now I've attached a useful name to that bit of functionality. When it's inside of a receive method, I don't have control of this name because that's the interface that's needed by iMessenger. When I move it into a shared method, I can now attach meaning to this functionality, which is awesome. Oh boy, apologize. For some reason, my internet just gave me a blip. That's terrifying. For those people not near us, I am in eastern Washington, and we are having some major wildfire problems. So there are, I think my family is largely unaffected based upon where we're located, but I think just about all of my friends and family know at least one person, if not more, who's been directly affected by the wildfires. So it has been bad. We've had a lot of people losing homes, and some of the smaller towns in the area have had quite a bit of destruction. Okay, enough on fires. Let's carry forth. Okay, so we've got that. Okay, so let's get the actual content going because this is kind of garbage, right? So I think what we're gonna do is let's do some sort of grid style in here first of all, because I need somewhere to put some content. And then I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna go off and for the heavy lifting we're gonna cheat, straight up cheat, or build on the shoulders of giants. So Avalon edit. So this is one that has been used before, and you'll note by this project, by me, specifically the controls inside of the demo app here, the way we're getting this nice text highlighting and formatting of our XML files is because this content here is a Avalon edit control. So we're just going to bring that sucker on in. Yep, that would be the one. And then, because it's not stealing if you steal from yourself, we're going to go and borrow my own code. Because I think this is ultimately what we kind of want to do, is we're going to want to do something along this line. Come here, come here. Let's see, I like to alphabetize. And by I like to alphabetize, I like to let tooling alphabetize for me. And then we're going to grab here, grab this, and we're going to just kind of slap this in here. Because the idea here is going to be we want to, we don't need any of that stuff. We don't need any of that stuff. Doc panel is pointless. There, now we're making progress. Let's see. Okay, so we need a document. And I think we're going to do a text converter, and I don't think we don't have a style. So we're going to just do that. Okay, and let me just look at this real quick, because I think before we were doing this with the idea that there would be a very simple setup, because this app is just literally pulling in this content from some strings in a dictionary. I think in this case, I'm curious to look if this guy has a nice little like load from file or something. Right, text to. I kind of just want to see your constructors. Text document. Let's see. iText source. Yeah, get text from text source. Go to implementation. Because this is used for an IDE, I'm fairly confident they have something a little fancier than just open file read text. Now we might. I'm sure there's got to be an implementation here. Let's just. You know what? Nope. Simplest thing first. We're going to read the text ourselves. Let's do something like converters, because I like to separate things out a little bit. Let's see. Class, text, document, converter. Boom. Okay, and file scope and namespace. Clean that up. Value converter. Boom. Implement. Oblique. Done. Okay, so ideally, we want this to go two-directional. Maybe it's worth spending a little time actually looking into it real quick. Because this is their samples. So for anybody interested, here is the repo. Snoop, go away. And they have some samples in here. Toolbar button. I'm kind of looking to see document, binding document. So show me your view model. Document root view model. You can see this is somewhat dated a little bit, but I'm curious what ends up setting this property. New text document, string extensions, blah, blah, blah. Oh, so they literally do file reader read to end. That can't be the most efficient way of doing this, right? You built an abstraction over stream. That feels so wrong. Let me just look and see if there's anything better. It feels like there's got to be a cleaner way to do that rather than just blind read all the things. Let's see. Document view model. This is probably better. Must not fix all the things. I know. I'm sorry. I'm bad. I can't help it sometimes. Let's see. Text document. There's got to be a... Okay. I'm going to set a timer. Reader, read to end. Wow, that is really how they're doing it. Okay. I mean, okay, fine. I don't like it, but fine. Okay. So we're going to do this. Let's see. What kind of property do we want on here to indicate our file? Do we actually want just I mean, we could do that. Wait, it is iText document, right? I'm not crazy. I guess simplest thing first. Simplest thing is a text document to begin with. Oh, and a text document. Oh, that's right. Text document contains the abstraction for iText source. Just, I have a hard time believing that I'm not finding good. Okay. I know I said it's a time limit, but I'm not past my time because I haven't said what it is yet. Text document, insert. Just want to see your implementations. It just feels like there should be a much more rope text using a rope. Maybe I'm just dumb, but what does that mean? Got it. This looks like something that was built for span or something. Okay, whatever. Okay, time limit's up. So simplest thing is text document directly, and we call it a day. Boom, 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 done. Though I think what I saw them doing is defaulting it to empty string and then populating later. So we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to kill the converter off that I started right because apparently we don't need it. This guy comes over here. This becomes binding without any of this stuff. And we call it text document. We do not need a converter. All of that dies. That dies. That dies. That dies. Boom. Bippity boppity booyah. Okay. The text block goes away. This fills in. We are happy. We should probably do some sort of prompt the user for a file. We'll need that at some point. And actually, we should almost do something. Let's actually default this to null because I kind of want to do something fancy inside of the content here. So in the event that this guy is null, I kind of want to change some of this up. So we're going to do this. I kind of want to rename this. That's really too much typing. AE sounds much better to me. AE text editor style. So we're gonna do a trigger on this guy. Let's see, target type, AE text editor, points for spelling based on static resource, X type, AE Text editor. Okay, that was a lot of typing just so that we could then do the real meat and potatoes. Style triggers, data trigger, binding, text, document, value, compare with null. We will compare on null, and in the event of null, setter, property, visibility. Oh, there, collapsed. Boom, done. Okay, so we're gonna hide it, and then we will do some sort of wow. Yeah, something kind of like that. Hey, Nabu Copilot. Okay, so Copilot, you're if you're gonna be the kid in the back of the class doing this, you better be able to back it up. Okay, I'm gonna help you a little bit, Copilot. I'm not gonna help you a lot. Okay. Implement the method. Come on, Copilot. You wanted to do. You're the one who wanted to build this. That's pretty good. Close enough. We're gonna fix some nullability stuff on these real quick. I mean, I can't fault you too much, Copilot. You did close enough. I mean, we will. Okay, and then I think we are going to just load this guy up once. Probably at the app level is fine. Let's see. And then add namespace. You want to type the key for me, Copilot? X key. You figured it out? No, too slow. You lose. Okay, so that now works. That now works. Okay, so that will give me no document loaded, something to that effect. We should be able to launch and see that, and then there, that will work. It bothers me that it does that when there's there. We almost want to have a... So this is an interesting case. You'll note I have one tab 0 selected. I cannot unselect tab 0, right? So I get into this case because there's no unselect mechanism here. So we probably want to default and have some sort of selected index or something. So we can add that in. But that gets us to there. That gets us to there. I think when we do new, we should probably prompt the user to pick a file. So let's do something like this. We could build it in directly, I guess. Yeah, so let's do... probably move this out later, but private file info get file. Sure. So we're gonna do open file dialog. Open file dialog. Okay, Copilot, you want to just write the rest for me? Okay, that's incorrect, Copilot. Wait, which open file dialog? Oh, you stupid. No. We are not going to reference Windows Forms. Where'd you get the reference from? We're not bringing in Windows Forms for this. That's dumb. Okay. Okay, let's go that route. Okay, there, Copilot. I'm gonna help you out. All right, so we'll do that. We'll do that. We should probably give this guy some of his properties, like title, file, something to that effect. Yeah, we'll do an all files filter for now. What else you want to add, Copilot? What do you think? Check file exists true. It's not really going to be a... big issue on any of these. That'll be good enough. Okay, so if we find it, otherwise, or if the user cancels, right, we'll return null. So we'll do something like if get file is file. Something about like that. And then if that's the case, I'm kind of wondering if we just pass it in on the constructor. Let's not, because I have a feeling we want to do that slightly differently. Because this is a nullable property, so it's not actually a requirement to have it. So we shouldn't necessarily need a constructor. But I think what we might do is something like async task load file. Something about like that. And maybe what we'll do is we'll do load file async. Something about like that. So I think what we're going to do, and order of operations is going to matter here. So we're going to go var tab gets blah, add the tab in. Right, so this is important because we want to update the Copilot. Stop it, you're ruining the excitement. We want to update our collection of tabs so that those show up appropriately, and then we want to trigger the load. So that way, if this view model wants to put up like a loading spinner or something, right, while it's loading it in, because who knows, maybe these are big files. And so we'll do that. We'll do that. Oh, that's the one I wanted to set. Store directory true. That's usually a good idea. Sure, we can make you static. Great. Okay, so that goes there, that goes there, that goes there, and then we're going to do something like text document gets new, and yeah, I'm trying to decide. We're going to do that, and then sure, we'll do that. You want to finish writing it? Anything else you'd like to do, Copilot? Do you want to just do the rest of the app for me? Show off. Show off, show off, show off. Okay. Let's see if we can load up a file. Okay, so we do that. File, new. We get prompted. Let's just load our own main window.xaml. I mean, so that's not bad. The scroll bar bit, we've clearly got a theming problem going on here. So that's exciting. So we probably need to address a little bit of theming because it looks like some of the stuff is being implicitly styled. And we didn't get any of our fancy coloring for XML, which I think if we go back to show me the XAML, I think that was all handled where? Is that in the... Oh, syntax highlighting is where that was at. So at a minimum, we should be able to turn on syntax highlighting. Syntax highlighting gets XML. And then that should give us something that's a little cleaner. That makes me feel a little better. Little better. I still don't like what the scroll bar is doing. Are we editable? We are. And we should probably implement things like save and whatnot. That seems like a good idea. So we'll do some specific context menus and whatnot up here and that kind of thing. But we can go whoop, pick on another one. We can say, well, what about our app.xaml? Right? And so we can come over here. There's our app.xaml. So let's change up some of this stuff here. So a couple things that are probably useful. When we come in here, we should probably do title gets file.name, maybe. That seems like a good idea. So we'll rev that up, because that seems to make good sense to me. That means if I come in here and go File, New. Oh, that code isn't applied yet. And we're going to need to get the encoding stuff to flow up too, which... does text document contain anything about that? I don't think it does. Let's see. This is just get text from source. Get location, offset, blah, blah, blah. File name. Oh, look at that. There's a file name right in here. Can I just point you at a file? On file name changed. Will that figure it out for me if I do that? I don't know what's watching that, so let's try that real quick. Let's see. Text document dot file name gets the name of the file the document is stored in. Could also be a non-existent dummy file or null if no name has been set. Okay, we'll do that. Part of me is tempted to have the title property shell out to this, but we'll see. Let's see, app.xaml. Boom. And then if I do new, I wonder if I change it to... If I change up the editor to not do... Just fix syntax highlighting. Can I do syntax highlighting, highlight definition, name rule set, blah, blah, blah. Is there an auto or anything? Problem is I can't see what, because this property is of type interface, you're not going to get any auto stuff. So let's just do this. Syntax highlighting. Just go and look at what they've done. Here, here, here. There. Samples. There. Show me your ways of doing syntax highlighting. Let's see. Highlight definition. Highlighting definition. So they like to have a view model property and bind to it. Get definition. They've got some hard-coded ones. Let's see. So we might end up needing to do some fancy stuff. So if you need Avalon more than a simple text box with syntax highlighting, you'll first have to learn more about the architecture. No, I just kind of want to have it be simple, and I don't want to think too hard. But it looks like their preferred method is to expose syntax highlighting via something like this, which means we might have to do like a mapping from file extension. So that's fine. That's fine. We can do something like this. So boom, boom, boom. And let's see, this guy here. Let's see, highlighting manager instance. Highlighting manager. So I think what I'm actually going to do is go with highlighting manager. You know what? I don't have unit tests. Why am I optimizing for something I don't have yet? I need a highlighting definition. So observable property, private yeah, Copilot showing off. I get it. Get definition. Is there a way to highlighting definitions by extension? That's exactly what I would like to leverage. I would like to get it by extension. Get definition by extension. Extension. File dot extension. Highlight I stupid did not there work for me, please. Thank you. Okay, so that goes there, that goes there. Then we just bind that guy up, and then we should have binding. Okay, so if we do new, we'll open up our XAML, syntax highlighting there, new, open up C# file, we get C# highlighting. Huzzah! Not perfect, pretty darn good. I'll take it. I will take it. I may even suggest going as far as doing a sub view model, because this is around the tab, and there's going to be quite a few things that get specific around this editor, and it may be worth consolidating those in. That's an optimization. Don't think we need to do right now. But that is good enough to get that much of the syntax highlighting working. Let's deal with the tab issue. I think what I want to do is, because I think I'm going to want to drive the selected tab from my view model. So we're going to do private int selected tab index. Right? We'll do that. And then if we go back over here and we do selected index binding, we're going to do this just so that we can add this in. And this means that after we add in the tab, what we can do is we can go selected tab index gets stupid Copilot. You showing off. You just, it's like it wants to make me look bad. It's trying. Yes, fine, Copilot. You can be right. Stop being a show off. Okay. Boom. And then when this way as we open up new files, we just immediately jump into that tab. Everybody's happy. Bippity boppity booyah. Okay. So that cleans that up. We can close. No document loaded. New. And maybe new is the wrong word. Maybe we should rename that to open. It's probably better. Let's rename that. That's probably better. Let's see. Open. And for those people who are confused why I'm putting an underscore here, the idea is when you hold down the Alt key, you'll note the F gets an underscore, and then O now has an underscore on it as well. So people who like to use what are called accelerator keys, if you slap an underscore in it, the letter just before the underscore will pick it up. So just as a convenience little thing to be able to go through and do. Okay, so that gets us there. That gets us there. Great. I think that's fine. And I think we can actually default you to... I think... I'm kind of curious, in this current state, I think the selected index is going to be -1 here, but I want to confirm that. So inside of Snoop, a nice easy way of doing this is just looking at your data context, selected tab index, -1. Perfect. That's all I want to see. That's all I want to see. Gracias. So yeah, we'll do something like that. Okay, so that gets us there. That gets us there. Let's commit before, like, I've been doing all kinds of stuff. Let's realize I don't have my get cracking point at the right thing yet. So hold that thought real quick while I do that. And then we're going to go here, here, and then we're going to do, let's see, starting work on simple text editor. Boom, done. Okay. Just so we've got a checkpoint, I'll squash them before I actually push. As you'll note, not a protected branch. I can just push straight into master. Okay, so that gets us there. What should we fix next? I feel like that's gotten me a good way there. Let's clean up some of the harder stuff. So this will probably be good instructional. So I suspect these scroll bars are having problems due to my theming. And the theming is being driven by, I'm gonna just turn that off real quick. By this guy here of base theme and inherit. If I change this to light, because base theme inherit says look at my Windows theme and pull out the appropriate theme based on that, which is fine. That's if you want your app to support everything, that's great. But I suspect if I do this, go light theme mode, yeah, now my scroll bars show up nicely. I've also got a lot of dead space up here that I'm not sure I like. Yeah, because you can see there's a lot of dead space. I kind of want to shove these tabs around and clean that up. Also, the no document loaded is showing up, which is clearly wrong. Not entirely clear how that's possible. I'm just going to relaunch to make sure that I'm not crazy. Huh. So we've clearly broken something there. Not sure why. We're going to just check the... Okay, sorry. Detour. We're going to figure out why this thing is lying to us. File, open. Right? Value is null. Okay. Value is text document. What a shock. Let's see. If value is null, collapse it, otherwise be visible. Null goes to collapsed. This isn't something stupid where I have it backwards, right? Null. Oh, it is backwards. Right, because if the value is not null, we want to be collapsed. No. If the value is not null, meaning we've loaded a document, we want to be collapsed. If value is null, we want to be visible. Yeah. How is this ever working? I was joking with a colleague earlier that there's the various stages of debugging. You start with the whole idea of why isn't this working, and then you'll slowly get yourself to the place of how did this ever work? And it's more common than people will realize or admit to. Okay, so we just had our converter backwards. That's fine. Okay, I'm just an idiot about the converter. Okay, so what I would like to do is we're going to do just a mild amount of theming here, because I think having a little theme toggle is nice. I like to be able to go between light and dark theme. Let's slap that in. The problem being is I'd kind of like this Avalon edit to play nicely with it. We're going to first quickly check, because I think I saw in their samples they had a something theme thingy in their samples. So we're just going to quickly check. Themed demo. What does themed demo mean? Screenshot dark, screenshot light. Perfect. They've got theming. Now, show me where you defined your themes. I just want your theme files. Dark brushes, light brushes. Excellent. They have defined them out. Light theme, dark theme, accent colors. Find where this is being set in code. Excellent. This makes me happy. Let's see. I am confused as to what this is doing. Okay, I just want to look at where and how they're setting this. They register for the loaded event so that they can unregister for the loaded event. Okay. I'm not going to claim to understand that. Where are you doing your loading? Service injector, inject services. You're doing some weird stuff there. You're doing some DI stuff. Appearance set theme. What is appearance? Appearance manager. Is that a theme? Got it. Okay. Is that something you wrote or is that something built in? Let's see. Theme definition view model. They wrote a lot of code. This looks like something that hasn't been touched in a little while, if I was guessing. Okay. Really, I just want to know where the heck that theme manager comes from. The appearance manager. Let's just check. Is that something that exists willy-nilly that I can just get my hands on? Is that a real thing, or is this yeah, that's an app level thing. That's kind of what I was thinking. Where is that defined? Because that's what's calling set theme. That is pulling out the themes, pulling display name, blah blah blah. Init for main window, get appearance. I really just want to know. Just show me where you're setting your brushes. That's all I care about. We'll do the rest. We'll handle the rest. Where is your set theme method? Let's see here. This guy does it. Appearance manager set theme. Where the heck is this? Some NuGet package you're referencing? Let's back up. They had the screenshots. Have I slowly jumped out of the main thingy? I may have jumped out. Okay. I may have. We've got two theme demos. Got it. So I may have jumped into the wrong app. So it doesn't look like it's set up that different. Let's see. Where are you? Dark light brushes. Like, these are fine, but at the end of the day, I just want to know what brushes that thing's looking for so I can override them. Specifically because it is... If I can override the theme brushes for the editor control, I don't need to deal with the scroll bar. And now I kind of want to solve it so that we can have real dark theme in Show Me the XAML, which would be kind of cool. I'll go back and post an update to that theme definition. Display name, blah, blah, blah. Theme sources, blah, blah, blah. Great, great, great. Like, that's all fine, but where the heck are you getting this? I don't really want to have to clone your repo to find this. Kind of just want to find it. Where do you do this? Okay, so M window interfaces lib. I don't know what the heck this thing is. I do not know this one. This might be a ye olde one. Wow. Okay, that's terrifying. Because at the end of the day, all I really want to know is how this set theme is working. Because it was pulling that. I guess we can look up the theme manually. That just kind of bothers me that I have to do that. Okay, if we go back over here to Avalon Edit, there will be a Avalon Edit. There is going to be a template inside of here, and I just want to look at third-party highlights. Ooh, interesting. Not now. Not now. Not what we're interested in. Generic.xaml. Show me your stuff. Okay, there we go. Text editor.xaml. Inside. Okay, so here we go. Window brush key is the background. Window text brush key is the foreground. So those two there immediately I could start. I can go through and apply. So okay, so let's just deal with those real quick. Actually, no. Let's put in a bloody toggle because that's what we need first. Somewhere along the top, we're gonna do a. Well, let's look because we've got cool little toggle things here that we can leverage. Come on. Hello. What is going on with my machine? There we are. That was weird. Like everything on my machine froze for a moment. Okay, so we've got these little guys, and I think this is kind of what we want. Yeah, so we're going to do this. And I think we're going to slap this guy in here. We're going to do a little stack panel, orientation horizontal, do something like that, do something like this. We don't want a tooltip. People don't need hints. Okay, and then we are going to do horizontal alignment right because it's going to be over the top of the menu, but still in the same first row. But I want to kind of put two things over here. A pack icon. Let's see, kind. Light. Go here. Let's find the right icon. Icon pack. And I kind of want, it's like a sun, I think is kind of a normal. Yeah, we'll do white balance sunny. Copy. Do that and then dark. How about moon? Yeah, so this is theme light dark. I don't think I like that. I kind of just want to do sun on one side, moon on the other. Don't really like any of those. But you know what? Beggars can't be choosers. So we're going to do it. Okay. Boom. Okay. So let's see. Is checked is going to be bound to is dark theme. And then we're going to do delay 500. Just going to slap that in just for a moment. Okay, so then we're come over here. We're going to do observable property, private bool is dark theme. And then we will grab that. We're going to just stop debugging because I don't think it's going to be able to handle hot reload. You're good, but you're not that good. Let's actually go right alongside of it here. Partial void on dark theme changed. I don't think we care about needing the old value. I just want to grab this here and test it real quick. So I want to make sure I don't have my Boolean backwards, which happens more than one might think. Okay, so first of all, the alignment is off. Is dark theme changed? Good. If I go click, click, doesn't. That's why I put the delay on there. That way, quick clicks don't change it. But if I click and wait, then I get the value coming through. All right, so false. But if I go click, click, no change. All right, so pro tip, WPF, you can kind of debounce stuff by just slapping a delay on there. And then you don't have to think too hard. Also helpful if you're like binding to the text property and the user's going right? You don't want to necessarily see them all. Okay, so we're gonna do let's see, vertical alignment center. That's better. Vertical alignment center. It's better. We're gonna slap a bit of a margin on this guy of, I don't know, 5, something like that. There, that'll work. Okay, and let's see, we are still on 4.9, so palette helper dot, or I'm sorry, new palette helper. This is changed in 5.0, so don't get attached to this. And if I get motivated, we'll rev this library up to the 5.0. Let's see, set theme, and then we're gonna do what is it? Base theme. Where's the dark? What is it? I'm trying to remember there's might have to go look at the thing. This is why we changed it, because this was non-intuitive to figure out how to do it. Because I don't think the theme manager gives you anything beyond the theme changed. Yeah, there is a theme, get theme. This is getting the system theme. That's not what we want. Oh, we want theme.dark or theme.light. That's what we want. Theme dark. So I just need to drop the word. Theme light. Can I convert? Oh, right. See, this is why we got rid of this, because I can't even remember my own API. Get theme. All right, so we get the existing theme out. Yeah. Hold on, Copilot. I saw you do it. Do it again. There. And then we set so you get the theme out, you modify the theme, and you put the theme back. Okay. So something about like that. And then we so we have this maneuver here, right? We go like this. Light, dark, king, toggle. Okay, great. What we probably want to do, though, is I would like to have this thing go back to base theme inherit, right? The problem with that is that requires this property to default appropriately. And I think what we're going to do is we'll just do it in the constructor. Let's see, is dark theme gets new palette helper, get theme, get base theme. All right. There's a cleaner way of doing this, because we can get all the way into theme, the get system theme. We saw it a second ago. Just saw it up here. Where was it? Get system theme, because there's a way to look up what the system theme is. Oh, base theme's in enum. There's that. But I thought there was a cleaner. We might just open up the library, because I can't remember. Oh, but it's going to be the old one. That's the problem. Is I am on master, not on otherwise. So you know what? This is going to work, even though it's horribly wasteful and whatnot. We're going to do this. Because this will pull whatever one is set inside of there. We default to dark now. Now we go light, dark, light. Great. Okay. So I'm gonna check that in real quick. Let's see. Adding theme toggle. Boom. Done. Commit. And okay, so we got that. We want to fix the theming on the other one. So we're gonna come in here. Let's do an override down here. Override on startup. New palette helper. Get theme manager. Theme manager. This is how we can actually handle it. Theme manager. Okay. Shut up. I get it. You're unhappy with me. Go away. Theme manager dot theme changed. Implement all the things. Okay. Now we come in here. E dot old theme, new theme, blah blah blah. So this you can actually see inside of the material design project. If we look at, for example, like the Ma apps one, this one I believe shows a sample of it. You'll note it does the theme manager, pulls it out. This is actually probably a better option, right? And then it does something like this where it injects the needed brushes at the point that it wants. So we're gonna should probably mimic that a little more, because we shouldn't assume that we're about to get a theme manager. And then here we can then slap in whatever brushes we need to do. That's great. And we can come in here, we can do this. Now, back to the Avalon edit one. Foreground, background. So for example, system colors, Windows brush key. All right, this guy comes in here. We want, this is not a string key, but a component key. So we want that. And then we want to come in here and do e.new theme. We want, leaf paper, and we probably want to do new solid color brush. We technically should be freezing this brush too. Fine. I can't stand it. Let's see. Set brush. Let's see. Object key. Color. Sure, that'll be fine. That way we can do this in one fell swoop. This becomes key. And then this becomes color, but we don't want to do this. We want to actually grab this. We want to do this. We want to go var brush equals. We want to set the brush here, but before we do that, we want to actually freeze the brush, because there is a significant performance gain to be had by freezing. And then we are going to call set brush, passing in the key, and then the color, and yeah. Okay, and then they had the foreground color, which was the Windows text brush. Let's see, Windows text brush key, and then I believe this one is foreground. Trying to remember the theming colors. Background, no, it's body. That's why. Again, 5.0 renames all these brushes. So this one here, we should be able to see colors change. So come in here, do this maneuver. There's that. Undeclared EX, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Kind of hard to tell if it's actually changing anything. Oh, but it did change. Took care of the scroll bar issue. There's scroll bars bound up to that somewhere. Okay. It's not bad. Okay, I want to restart real quick because I don't think... So we're building out... I was given a request to build out a very simple kind of tabbed interface app. Think your standard text editor or browser style. And do it in WPF with MVVM. So we're trying to get this guy working. Okay, so the initial state is wrong. That's fine. I think the issue then is just... Oh, interesting. I don't actually like that much, but you know what? We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. There's probably... Because I'd like to change the highlighting stuff because it's changing the background and the foreground and not changing these up. So we may end up having to poke at a few more of those to figure out where that highlighting is coming from. I have a sinking suspicion that highlighting is actually coming from our highlight definition. Because I highlight rule set, blah, blah, blah. I'm guessing somewhere in here, highlight span, highlight rule. I'm guessing one of these things here is going to define, yeah, highlighting color. Yeah, that's actually going to be annoying. That's going to be real annoying. But you know what? It's not a problem to solve today. What I do want to solve is the fact that when we come in here, it's not adjusting the theme. So we would like to come in here. And once again, we don't want the logic to live inside of our event handler because then we have to do weird things like invoke the event handler. What we really want to do is on startup, we want to call and get this same set of logic based on the current theme. So what we are going to do instead is private void set additional theme brushes. And then we will take in an iTheme theme, and then we will just grab this guy here, and we'll go whoop-em. And then this just becomes theme. And then, yes, I am aware I can't spell. That is a common theme, pun intended, with a lot of my stuff. Boom. But that is why we install the Visual Studio Preview, so we can have a spell checker, which is potentially my favorite feature. Okay, so we're going to do that. We're going to do that. And then we're going to go, yeah, that. Ignab, you Copilot. You're just showing off now. Okay, so this should fix it on startup so that now the dark theme, as we start, has the appropriate brushes defined from the get-go. Great. Looks ugly, but you know what? It'll do. It'll do. And actually, I think we can test the text changing stuff because if we never set this highlight definition, I think what we'll get is we'll just get the plain text coloring, which then we should be able to see the foreground background change. So let's test that theory real quick. All right, so that makes sense. And then if I toggle it, dark text, light background. So both of those work like a charm. Great. Great. Okay, so we'll put that back. This thing doesn't offer us highlight definition. Just want to double check and make sure that there's not something floating around here that's like, hey, named highlight colors, properties, arbitrary stuff. Yeah, I was kind of hoping there would be something that had like make colors look nice. We might there's a cheater function we can use inside the material design library if we want to iterate over all the colors to force them to be a good contrast. But we'll see. We'll see if we want to get there. Let's just do a quick commit. You know what? We'll put that as part of the last commit. Great. Okay. What do we want to implement next? Let's deal with the... I think let's deal with this tab layout bit. I think that's the next part I kind of want to take a look at to see what options we have there. So if we come here, it'd be nice to have those the tabs laid out a little nicer. And I think one of the easy options is if we just go to the filled style. Ooh, this one looks nice. Kind of like this. Let's see. Yeah, I kind of like that option. Because you'll note the key changes here are going to be these. Let's try this. See how this looks. Okay, and then we're going to relaunch because I don't trust it to be right the first time. We do have the nice line now from the cards, which I kind of like. Okay, it's better. Open. Yeah, I think what I want to do though is I want to do well, it's kind of hard to say. If I do the light foreground, it's not going to look as good. So let's do... I feel like I want to set the background so that it gets filled in a little nicer. And global content, placement, all of that stuff. Yeah. And then we want to look at how the width is being done here. Horizontal content. Oh, so that's the easy one here, right? So to do the tabs alignment, we're going to do this. We're going to go left. That should shove them all over there. That gets us better. Trying to decide. Let's look at the palette real quick. So we might just go with color tool. How about color zones? Because it may be worth just going with something like that. So if we drop custom, we can go here, and then we can do something like primary mid. See what that looks like. That works. The only problem is that makes our little filled button disappear, which is okay-ish. We can change him up. So let's take him and go to, let's see, buttons. And I think we'll do like, we'll take our secondary color and we'll change him. Where was that? Text block button, that. So we'll give him there. And then the question is, do we want our color scheme to be purple and green? Or do we want something different? Because that's coming from here. Right? Let's see. What are we thinking? I'm kind of thinking a blue-gray as the primary. Something about like that. And then for the secondary, we can kind of get a little crazier. What's the purple look like there? That's not a good enough contrast. I don't like that. I want something a little more poppy. What's light blue look like? Or maybe the indigo. That's still not enough. Not enough. Not enough. I want something poppier. Not poppy enough. I want it bright. Yellow's a horrible one. I want the light green. You know, it looks a little funny, but I might keep the light green. Okay, next thing. We want to kind of shrink down the height of those tabs, because they're a little tall for me, and I think we can control their height. Do we have that in here? Left, different sizes, not filled, required tab 1. What did this guy have to do? That's just set in the alignment. That's fine. I thought we had... These ones have the close on them. What are these? What's these tabs look like? Let's see. Item template, text block, button. So why are ours looking a little... Oh, because we did the filled one. I think I kind of like that better, though. Let's look. I think the issue here is I set my vertical alignment here to bottom, and I should probably be doing center. Versus top. And I think that works a little better. Let's see here. That goes in there. Let's do a tooltip on this guy. Tooltip. Close file. Something to that effect. We are. That doesn't look too bad. Yeah. We'll go with that for now. What does it look like in light theme? Light theme's ugly. Yeah, we'll go with it for now, I think. I think that's what we'll do. We'll see how that goes. It does look funny. It's intentionally picking a color, fuchsia. Joshua, I might have to revoke your VIP status. Yeah, it's fine. I don't. We won't spend too much time fighting over this. That seems good. I would like to shrink down the height of this, and I don't remember if that's a possibility or not. So let's just look. Is there a possibility to shrink down the height of this bar? Let's see. Is this fixed? This is coming from actual height is a local value. Wow. Okay, so I'm gonna go look at the code real quick for this because I'm a little surprised if we don't allow any override of the height. That might become a thing that I change very quickly. Because I would like to be able to shrink it. I realize this is probably more in line with the default material design stuff, which is fine. But there's a line between matching defaults and not letting me change what I want. Okay, so what I am looking for is the tab control base, tab control part header zone. Let's look. What was I looking at? So header zone, nested grid, border, content presenter, scroll viewer, and then inside of there. Scroll viewer, stack panel, virtualizing stack panel. Let's see. Show me that again. Part, scroll content presenter. Which means I am looking for navigation, tab control. Where is this 48 coming from is what's really confusing me. Tab item default height. So I just need to change the height of my tab item. Got it. Okay, so this is another thing worth noting on items control, because tab control is confusing. We've set an item template, which is the tab header itself. We've set a content template, which is the thing inside of it. But now we want to actually access the tab item, the thing that encompasses it. So the way you get at that, tab control item, what is it? Item style, item container style. That's the guy. Okay, target type, tab item. based on static resource X type tab item. So this will let it fall back to what it was previously. We may end up needing to set this to the material design tab item. I don't remember how that's configured. Setter property height gets, and let's like have it 24, or you have to actually type in the value in order for that to work. You can't just assume Copilot's going to do all of your work for you, despite what I wish. Okay, file, open, pick on our XAML file. Okay, so aside from the fact that it collapsed on me way too much, so 30, and that's being a little crushy around the outer edge. So there's probably a padding or a margin in there that needs to be cleaned up. We'll just find out where that is. Okay, so we are looking for margin or padding or whatever the heck is going to get in my way, actually, or height. Explicit setters there. Okay, so there's that. That's the selected background. We actually want to be inside of the color zone. He has an actual height of 30, which I believe is from my assignment. Great. The grid here, nothing fancy. Probably the border gets me inside. Content presenter gets me inside. Content presenter, grid. There. That guy there, his padding is the problematic one. So because this is where then we get into mine. So the content presenter inside of this guy has a padding that is coming from the parent template. So if we go and look here, content presenter, padding, template binding, padding. So because this says template binding padding, I can come up here and go, that's on the tab item. I just need to adjust the padding on the tab item itself, because if I come up here, I can see there's the pad ID. There is the padding. It's coming from the style. So I go, okay, well, if it's coming from the style, setter, property, padding, value, and I think we're going to still leave a little like 16 on the horizontal, just nothing on the vertical. Clean that up, and then boom, something looks a little more like that. That's not bad. So that's a better height for me. Okay, so that clean that up, and away we go. So that makes the height of our bar look a little bit nicer and a little less tight. Now, I believe if we go and look at the menu items, we probably have if I remember right, there's like a condensed menu as well. That's a little shorter. Top level menu item height. Yeah, I thought we had this thing. I thought there was even thought we had is it just an attached property? For some reason, I thought we had a style that let you dial it down too. We're gonna come up here. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. And then that should bring that down a little bit. We might go a little bigger. 25 is a little short for my taste. Let's do that. Yeah. There, that's a little more, it's a little more compact. I kind of like that a little better. I think I do want to push the, just a hair of a margin in on that grid around here. Just to push it just off the edge a little bit. Because that way we aren't bumping into the rounded corners and various things like that. Just a hair. Just curious if you've ever checked out Avalonia, what you think of it. I've done some WPF, but a noob overall at WPF. Well, we were all noobs at some point, so don't feel bad at all. Yeah, so I have checked it out, and it is, I will say, very interesting, and it's on one of the up-and-coming frameworks that I think is worth people's consideration when they are looking at building stuff. It has a couple advantages over WPF. Namely, it uses a newer XAML syntax, which is pretty cool. Somebody did actually take my material design library and make an Avalonia port for it, which is pretty cool. They got it all up and running, which was pretty slick. So I think it is very, very worthwhile being considered. There's a couple downsides if you're looking at, like, if you're just doing it for like a hobbyist thing or an indie developer thing, definitely consider it. If you're doing an enterprise solution, there's a couple caveats that give people pause. And one of them is the adoption rate. Like there is a lot of people building a lot of cool stuff with it, but it's that number is still dwarfed in comparison to a lot of other frameworks. And so there's always there's this bit of a catch-22 of, in order to be popular, you have to have a whole bunch of people using it. And in order to get a whole bunch of people using it, you need to have a whole bunch of people using it. So there is kind of that awkward risk factor of, it's like, it is probably one of the biggest third parties, or yeah, I think that's a fair statement. I think it is one of the biggest third party options out there. And so I think it is very much worth considering. But at least from like an enterprise standpoint, there's not a lot of enterprises that are requesting, hey, we want people to build, our Avalonia apps. So there's the question of, well, oftentimes businesses drive funding for things. So how is that going to support long term? Yeah, let's see. I have a hobby project that I'd love to turn multi-OS, but it's pretty hard even with Avalonia so far. C++ at the moment. Yeah, integrating with some parts of what I needed. Yeah, and that is one of the things that gets very difficult. One of the other things you can consider as well is .NET MAUI. This, not MAUI Fires. That is something very different. And this is one that, yeah, it's kind of this one is weird. So this is basically Xamarin Forms vNext for what it's worth. And when, so if you built a Xamarin Forms app, when they first released MAUI, it was literally a namespace change, and like the vast majority of the APIs, it was just that they switched it. So it's been rebranded and renamed as Microsoft trying to say, hey, this is our cross-platform solution that we're gonna, it's gonna be the in the box. This is what's supported, everything. And so it gives you a reasonable way of building out those types of things. Yeah, and Xamarin Forms has been a pain. Anything that goes cross-platform, specifically the cross-platform solutions that give you native level performance in UI, are hard because they've got a constantly moving target being fed into them from Apple and Google and Microsoft and all these things that are evolving. And whatever this multi-platform is has to try to chase them all at the same time. When they first released it, my assessment was, this is crap. This has been released way too early. It has gotten a lot better, specifically after a lot of third parties kind of started. Like when it first came out, like Xamarin was just finally getting to the point where you had a lot of good third party and open source solutions to work with. And then they kind of cut the legs out from under it and started with MAUI, and everyone had to port. And so there was this lag time where there wasn't a lot of good options. It was kind of buggy in a lot of areas. And I shouldn't say in a lot of areas. Depending on which platforms and what APIs you were using, there were definitely bugs in places. Lots of them. The repo is open source. You can see the list. It at times feels overwhelmingly huge. But now they've gotten it where it's reasonably stable on the various platforms. You can still leverage some of your XAML stuff. They've started to try to put a lot of stuff into the box, which has been really nice. I'm going to link to this repo here. I started putting together various .NET templates, and specifically for WPF, I've got a .NET new template that if you watch several of my streams, you'll see that I leverage every time I try to start a new WPF project, because in my opinion, to do it well, there's a lot of boilerplate every time you have to start a new project. And I got annoyed at that. So I went through and I spun up a thing. But this template is in a lot of ways inspired by the default Maui project and how they structured a lot of things. So there's some inspiration taken from that. I won't say I mimicked it exactly, because there's some stuff they do that I don't like. But at least there was some inspiration taken from there of how to start up a reasonable XAML-based application with dependency injection and MVVM. Yeah, I think Maui is worth consideration. The other thing that gets really, and this is where things are going to get weird. There's this weird thing that if you say you want web as well, you might also take a look at Blazor hybrid, and things get really weird, really fast, because you did learn a bit of that. Excellent. You can take Blazor components and embed them into your Maui application. And this is where, like, this kind of polyglot solutioning app development gets really wacky, because it's like, oh, I need this component. I can't find a Maui version, but I can find a Blazor one, so I'm going to bring that in. Yeah, it's very weird with the React Native and C#. I usually joke and tell people Blazor has made me feel like I can be a web developer, because I'm not a great JavaScript person. I hate it. But Blazor kind of is like, great, I don't have to learn JavaScript as much or at all. I can just do it in C#. And then I can focus on, laying out the HTML and the CSS and, how does things look and pretty, and I don't have to fight with JavaScript. Yeah, and I've done TypeScript a bit, and TypeScript is wonderful. I found TypeScript is wonderful once I have somebody set up the project and get it working. Like, I can go in and work on one just fine and be great. It's just, I feel like getting it set up, there was a learning curve and a tooling problem that made me want to barf. I like file new project F5. It used to suck, but everything is well supported with TypeScript now. Yeah, and that I believe. There's been there's been a lot of stuff in there, and so I've been loving Blazor because it's file new project F5, and I'm off to the races. And I don't like. There's very little stuff. All of the C sharpiness and goodness that I love is kind of feels like it's in the box, which is great. So yeah, if you are looking at building something, I would say take a look at Maui, and then just kind of keep the Blazor hybrid option in the back of your head, because it does allow you to kind of, if you'd rather build something more focused in Blazor, you can then take that Blazor component and bring it in. And even if you aren't looking to share with web, it opens up another ecosystem to be able to pull things in from. Yeah, and it's not necessarily, the Blazor hybrid isn't just like wrapping the web browser. It's doing some interop in there that's really slick. But again, it opens up an ecosystem where Maui may have deficiencies, where it's like certain things haven't maybe been ported over. You can bring stuff in. Your app is a browser kind of. Got it. Okay. Yeah. Still probably kind of worth considering. So, but check it out. See what you think. I will say I do not have a ton of experience on the macOS desktop side of things. So I can't really speak to that. I've done enough iOS, Android, Windows desktop that it's pretty cool. And even the place where I work right now, we've got a Maui application that's under active development, and a few more that are in the pipeline that will probably get built. So it is definitely a platform that we are leveraging professionally. So it's good enough that we're willing to stake some decent apps on it. Like I said, I wouldn't have said that about it when it first released, but they've now had a few years of making it better. Yeah, the nice part with Maui is you get native level performance, or rephrase. They say native level performance. You get really darn close. There are a handful of things where it's I don't like the way it does it. So it's like, yeah, you get native level performance, but they're measuring the C# running on like an iOS device. But then they go through and do animations in a way that doesn't leverage that, and so it's weird. But you get very close to native level stuff. It is not like some cross-platform solutions. Like there's a lot of like electronic style things that they're like, yeah, write your code runs once, run everywhere, and they just kind of package up this web thing, dump it in a web browser, and say that it works on all the platforms. It's like, that's not native performance. Knock it off. That's dumb. So, but theirs actually does compile down to natively level stuff. Okay, so I think there's that. The only thing I think I wanted to do in here that isn't clear is I think I want to implement a Silverlight. Yes, you won't make friends if you call it Silverlight, but yes. I think I want to implement file save on here so that we can like do stuff and then go file save. I think that's what I want. Right? And I probably want to implement some keyboard shortcuts and whatnot on here as well. That would probably be nice to add. So let's do that, because I think that would be a good thing to show in here is, so I want to have a separator, and I want a menu item, and I want it to say save, and I want to see why the heck my phone won't stop buzzing, because somebody is pestering me and I don't know who it is. Oh, that can wait. None of that's important. Okay, so we want to do how about save file command, and this is where we're going to get some, we're going to do some cleverness in here, but we also want to limit when this thing is actually visible. So I think what we're going to do here is we're going to go like this. We're going to go with we could actually just bind this. No, that's kind of yucky. Now we're going to do the full way. I was thinking of getting clever and just binding two things together that aren't really related, and that's a bad idea. Okay, Copilot, you want to do the rest for me? What am I thinking, Copilot? I haven't said it yet, so you can't guess. Ha! See, I'm still the developer. Take that. At least for now. Let's see. Static resource. X type menu item. We will do style triggers, and we will do a data trigger. We will do a binding, and we will do a binding to. Let's do. Why aren't you giving me any IntelliSense in here? What did I call that thing? Selected tab something. Yeah, this thing. So if selected tab index is, let's see, value is -1, then we are going to set your property visibility value collapsed. Wow, props for being the maintainer of material design. XAML looks awesome. Thank you. I can't take too much credit. I'm not the original author. The original author kind of burned out and stepped aside for a bit and let me take over a few years ago. And then as of like the last year or so, there's, I'll say 3 to 4 of us that actively do a ton of work on it. I should look. Are any of them in the chat tonight? Don't see them, but sometimes they lurk. So if any of the maintainers are, if any of the other guys are in the chat, feel free to drop in. I know some of them have had a lot of stuff come up recently that's been very busy, and that is very acceptable because it's a passion project. I love my WPF a lot, and so I am very happy to keep going down this path. Okay, so this should get me here. This should get me here. Let's make sure this works. So the idea here is I only want to see save when I've actually got a tab that's picked. Let's see, style, menu, target type does map match. Oh, right, because I said the target type was menu, and it's actually menu item. So, okay, so short version, don't be an idiot, and it'll work just fine. Let's see here. Okay, so file. Ooh. Something's not right. Something's not right. Pretty sure I've used it before. Awesome. Yeah, and the 5.0 release is coming, and there are some I will warn people, trying to lots of warning, because it is coming and it will make people's lives miserable, and I'm sorry. There is a slew of breaking changes, specifically brush renames. So one, I've tried to document out what all of the renames are going to be, but I have built a poor man's source generator for it, and there will be a shim resource dictionary you can bring in. So if you have a large app and don't want to go through and rename all of your brushes, there is a shim library you can, or a shim resource dictionary you can reference at the top. And I still need to write the docs for this, but you can bring that in instead, and then that'll let you keep using the old brush names as long as you need, until you can have time to switch over. Okay, so this guy here, a little confused why this binding works and this binding doesn't. Selected tab index, if -1, go backwards. Okay. Show me what I did wrong, Snoop. Data context. Oh, selected tab index is 0. 0 is not -1. Ah, that's -1. Which now means it goes away. Ah, ha, 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 ha. Okay, got it. So short version equals -1. Done. Okay, there. Okay. Please work. There we go. So short version, set your defaults appropriately and your life will be better. So now we have a save option, but if we close it, we only have the open option. So save is expected to track the current one. And unlike the open and called open file. Let's rename this. Hey, Spiralwave, welcome. It is going well. Trying to get a very simplistic text editor put together, because I got a request, I believe it was YouTube, could have been other means, of somebody wanting to see a MVVM style example of doing kind of a tabbed type interface. And so I figured we put together a little something. Just so that I got a good sample. If people are interested, we are going to be pushing it to this location. Not pushed yet, but it'll be pushed up here. As soon as we're done here. Okay, so now we have save. Save doesn't do anything. We should make save actually like bound to a real command and do a thing. Okay, so I think we're going to put the save down here. This text document, does it have anything cool like knowing if it's been changed? It has an event, which is cool. File name changed. I kind of want to know if it's just different. What is the application for this text editor? You plan on using it for something specific or fun project? Not necessarily something specific, but planning on using it to use as a sample for people who want to use it. So I wanted it close enough to be real-ish, but I'm not actually like planning on replacing my VS Code usage with it. So let's do something. Let's make this a little interesting, because I'm thinking what I want is we're gonna do the basic is modified type situation, I think. Yeah, it's because all of the samples in that repository, or I should say most of the samples in that repository are heavily focused on showing off material design and XAML stuff. Some of them are generic WPF stuff. Some of them are showing like command line integration bits. So I've kind of muddied the waters a little bit with various samples, but I try to have things in there so that when people ask questions, I can point them to a sample rather than being like, yeah, you know, here's what you have to do. Because I found that people, when they ask questions, they really like to see code. And that kind of makes sense. Developers like code. So having code to point people to and say, here's a working sample. Go look at that. Oftentimes that goes a long way. Videos versus text is kind of the same thing. Yeah. And that's the thing is I've written blogs, I do videos. If you've got the time to do it all, that's where people will learn the best. And it's the nice trifecta. I'm lazy. And so I tend to do videos because then I can kind of just do stuff in real time and it goes quicker, versus writing. My perfectionist and rewrite and all that kind of stuff goes a long way. Ooh, on the note of writing, because I'm being bad and procrastinate on it. Okay, show this off. Anybody looking to learn C#, Essential C# book series? Hey, look, my name is online. This is very much a work in progress. It is actively being updated for C# 11 content. So some of it's there, some of it's not. Apparently I need to click the approve button on my pipeline because apparently I haven't done it since August 9th. It's bad. But more importantly, if people have feedback on this, right now it just dumps over to a discussion page over on a public repo. So if anybody's interested in the code behind this, feel free to poke around and check it out. I will tell you, the repo for the website code is public. The content of the website is not public. But yeah, this is it is designed to take somebody from very introductory, maybe little to no programming knowledge, and bring them up to advanced very quickly. So some people, if you've already got some experience, you might want to bounce around over topics that kind of go there. But that's kind of the flow of chapters 1 through 24. This is assuming somebody with little to no programming knowledge and then walking them through it. And so sometimes if you're looking at like parameters and methods, the examples in here are going to be not assuming that you know anything about, say, interfaces, because it hasn't gotten to there yet. So yeah, so if anybody has feedback, please feel free to post it. We've got a team actively working on this. I'm supposed to be updating chapter 23, so please don't look too closely at that one yet, because it is lacking a lot of little bit of the C# 11 goodness that was released. But yeah, like I said, if people have feedback, check it out, essentialcsharp.com, and you know who to complain to. Yeah, and there's going to be a lot of additional features that we want to put on the web. We've been focused on there's a whole pipeline infrastructure. The amount of code that has gone into this is Joshua, just because you work on it, there's an amazing amount of infrastructure that has gone into getting this thing online, between publisher rights and being able to have a publishable version of this as well. But we also like the online thing because then as new versions release, we can theoretically get content updated quicker. Book publishers, they have weird things where they like have to send things to printers and do stuff with paper, which is fine. That just takes more time. And since Microsoft is releasing every November, it's kind of hard to keep up. It's like as soon as you release, you're already a couple months out of date, and the next version's 6 months coming. It's like yay. So things come fast. Okay, all of that to say, let's add a property for observable property, private bool. Oh, is dirty. That's close. I was gonna go is modified. Maybe is dirty is better, actually. Aren't you, Copilot? You're making me question my own sanity. C# is 11 is only for .NET 7 and 8, right? Yes and no. So this is where things get interesting. The language version, there are features that get added to C# to versions of C#. But there are some of them require specific versions of .NET, and some of them are just syntactic sugar of the language. So as long as you're using the latest Visual Studio, you should be able to set, Lang version 11 and get at least some of the features. And yeah, if you want to share a link on the Steam store, that would be fine. There is, if assuming you are on latest Visual Studio, bumping your Lang version up to 11 only requires that you have a version of the compiler that supports C# 11. But you will only get some of the features, but you can still use C# 11 features all the way back on a project targeting, .NET 4.5 or whatever, if you're back on full framework. Again, you'll just get some of the features, not all. And it kind of depends which one. Sweet. With PolySharp, everything is C# 11. Joshua, why are you confusing me? What is PolySharp? I don't know that. Why do I not know this word? Oh, this is Sergio's. Oh, I remember. Okay, I have seen this. Yeah. This. Okay. So one, Sergio is one of the big brains behind the community toolkit MVVM library that I am straight up abusing in this project. So the source generators with this observable property, yeah, Sergio, he's one of the brains behind it. I've seen this before. This is one. Yeah, should have started. Did I not start? Okay. One, people should start this repo. This is good, especially if you have to work on older versions of C# and you want a polyfill for it. This is a great way of doing it, because a lot of C# features you can actually get newer C# features that require the .NET runtime or newer versions of .NET to work in older versions. So for example, like he's showing off the range and indexing syntax. You can get this to work in an older version of .NET as long as you manually add in the code for index and range. Things that normally would be in the version of .NET, but because you're on the old version, you don't have it. But if you declare the right classes in the right namespace, the compiler goes, ooh, that's great, I'll use those. And it takes off to the races. Yeah, framework standard 2.0. Yeah, and source generators are an interesting one that are probably going to be receiving some love. But yeah, being able to have this kind of stuff and work in an older one is gold. And specifically, you'll note he calls out this is generated source only, meaning you're not referencing another DLL. This NuGet package is going to generate source code in your project, filling in the stuff. More Windows. Okay, so we're gonna do an is dirty flag. I made that too small, and we're gonna go down here and do this. So we're never gonna reset this value. I think I still want to be careful here, so we're gonna go with partial on text document changed. And so if old value is not null, we're going to do an unregister. If new value is not null, we're going to register. So new value dot changed plus equals boom. And we're just gonna local function this guy. Just really be focal. Let's see. So let's do. Why are you not renaming properly? No. Rename. There we are. Thank you. So how about text document changed? Copy paste. Old value minus equals. Because this is the scary thing with events, is you need to make sure that you clean them up because they will hold on to things. Nice talk earlier. We'll check out your book. Cool. And thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Cool. Sweet. Okay. And we're going to do that. We're going to do that and do that. And we are in. Okay. So we're going to have a dirty flag. When the dirty flag gets, in this case here, we just want to say is dirty gets true. Okay. And then when we load a file, we're going to come in here and, is dirty gets false. So clean that up. And then on a save, we're going to also end up setting the dirty flag back. What time is you normally online? So I typically stream. So I am in Pacific time, United States. My typical schedule is about 9 p.m. Wednesday evenings on Twitch that I will be here. So usually between 9 till like 11 or 12, depends on how I'm feeling. Pacific. I usually try to keep the calendar on my Twitch stream updated. So if there's weeks that I'm gonna miss, I will try to update my calendar, and I'll usually post on the app formerly known as Twitter. Let's see here. So that is just stupid that Copilot wrote that entire thing for me. Yeah, that's pretty much it, Copilot. Thanks. Bloody show off. This is not going to work though, because this is assuming this is the full name, and that is not full name. Now it'll work. Wait. That is title, file name, full. Oh wait, no, it is gonna work. Stupid Copilot, make me feel stupid. Oh, Copilot, you are a jerk. Okay, fine, you show off. Okay, so that's there. That should give us save functionality. And then the only thing I want to do is I want to do a private bool can save method. And then we're going to do something like can execute gets name of can save, because I think this type of interface is worth showing people how to do it. And then down here, we want to say when notify can execute changed for name of save command. This way people can see that this is how you take a command from disabled to enabled, save, disable it again, blah, blah, blah. Okay, this should all just work. Unless I've screwed something up. The fact that Copilot did all of this for me is kind of stupid. We're going to fix its null check too, because I don't like the way it did it. So open, you'll note the save menu was not there. We will go to our app.xaml. We're going to go light mode because I don't like my own color theme. We are going to add a comment that says, wee! And for fun, before we hit save, I'm going to just open up my app.xaml file because this is going to be funny. So then I go file, I go save. Oh, are you not going to update here? File, save. Oh, I didn't bind the save command to anything. Okay, hold that thought. Hang on. I'm not as dumb as I look. Old item and new item, because I'm confused why we can subscribe to change and then unsubscribe to the old. Good question. So this on document change that comes in, these are partial methods that the source generator behind this observable property create. So old value, so this gets invoked when the generated property is changing or changed. I guess there is changing as well. And so we null check it because the first time we do an assignment to text document, it will be null. And so the first time in, we want to check old value for null because we can't unsubscribe to a null thing. We then assign it a new value. And so the new value will be non-null and will register for the event. The only thing is, if we were to ever go through and blindly replace that instance with a new instance, we will want to unregister the event from the old instance. Because if you don't unregister, it will end up holding on to a reference in this view model. Now, that probably will not leak a reference. I'm trying to think. I don't think it'll leak a reference with how we've set it up now, but with events, if you don't unregister them or just like chop off the entire object model that has them, the garbage collector, you can end up having your memory slowly increase. So this is why, this is how we're able to do the unregister, is specifically because of this null check above, because these ones could come in as null and change it out. Okay, so this one here, we actually want to grab the selected item and then pull that back out. I'm kind of tempted to just do something like this. Rather than selected index, I wonder if we should do selected item instead and change this up. That's probably easier because then we can leverage it up here. So let's change that up a little bit. So rather than selected index, we're going to go with tab view model, nullable. We're going to go selected tab instead, and then -1 no longer makes sense. We can let the default of null take precedence. Come down here. This becomes, oh, this actually gets a little cleaner then, because then we can just say tab rather than tab index. So that goes like that. That becomes nice and clean there. That works. And then this becomes selected tab dot save file command. And then we're going to launch that sucker. And the designer is going to be unhappy because it has no idea what that type is. And clearly doesn't know, oh, because we did this. So the bindings here are now broken. So selected tab, but we want to compare against null now. So same thing here, compare against null. The other thing that's quite common to do is if the command doesn't live inside the selected item, you can actually just say on your style, rather than doing a data trigger, you can do a regular trigger and say if the menu item is disabled, then hide it. Then you can let the command drive it. Okay, so we're going to do this, add a comment. And I really want to hit save and see it update. That would make me happy. Did you actually do anything? Don't appear to have done anything. So let's make sure we're actually hitting our method. File, save. So selected tab is no, oh, oops, I just snooped Visual Studio. That's the wrong app. Try again. Snoop my app, not Visual Studio. That's okay. So I want to look at what selected tab. All right, so if I look at this, save command, what are you bound to? So maybe I should check my output window for binding errors. Save file command not found on object. Oh, it's because it's not save file command, it's save command. Turns out if you don't bind to the right command, it no worky either. So we'll try this one more time. This time with feeling. Okay, file, open, XAML, light mode. Please, oh, please work. Okay, file, save. Oh, yes. Okay, has the right file path. Great, write async is dirty false. Boom. You'll note save is disabled. If we look at our thing. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Okay, only other thing I want to do. File, save. I want to give us a little, are these annotations? No, they aren't. Only because these are a particular library's, it's the community toolkit. But if you are interested, one second, shameless self-promotion. Yeah, shameless self-promotion. Me. So, if you are interested, copy. This one here is going over the .NET Community Toolkit announcement. And then there's one more that I might point people to. There was a video I did a few back, because some people have commented that they wish I would have redone one of my old MVVM videos. So this is one that's only a couple months old. It goes over building a WPF app from zero to running. And then there is a part 2 to it as well. This one. Share, copy. These ones, those ones there go over quite a bit of kind of the basics of starting out an app. So between those, check those out. That should give you at least a fairly good primer. There is an so the first video is on the 8.0 release of the material, or of the community MVVM toolkit. That's where the meat and potatoes of the awesomeness is, but they have added some additional features. I did another video on the 8.1 release, kind of covering the new updates, which they're cool and nice, but they were kind of just smoothing over some rough edges or some edge cases that people had run into and that kind of thing. The real awesome stuff was in the 8.0 release. That's when things went from, oh, this is really cool. That was the point where that was implemented. Okay, I just wanted to do one more thing where I wanted I need an icon to know I want an icon to show up when we're in a dirty state. You know what? That'll work. I don't like it, but it kind of works. So we're going to go up here. And I want to slap in a little pack icon here, and we're gonna expand this guy out, and we're gonna do thank you. Okay, Copilot, you want to write the rest for me? Dang nab you, Copilot. So stupid. It's not right, but it's darn close. It is darn close. Let's see. If is dirty, it's false, I would like to collapse you and not have you show. We're probably going to dial the size on this icon down just a little bit, because I'm thinking very much like Visual Studio does a little asterisk next to the name, but that's just too boring. VS Code has the little circle-y thing that they do. See, that immediately showed up. That That would seem to imply is dirty is true already. So we might have a bug. Yeah, because the control's enabled, so that's a bit of a bug. If we go save, though, it hides. But apparently on open, we are setting is dirty. Oh, right, because we're updating the content. Yeah, because we set is dirty to false. Yeah, we should do that. And then it should work. And then we're going to go File, Open, and then something like this. Yeah, I don't care. And then if I edit it, then I get the little splat. That works. File, save. Boom. Done. Close. We got a working little text app with all the things. So yeah. Let's see. Getting save indicator working. There is a very simplistic setup. I am going to squash all of these commits together. I'm going to rename this adding MVVM tab example app. Let's see here. Yeah, that'll be fine. Update, push. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, it is live. So refresh. Boom. So if anybody wants to see it, there's the link. We got working application and off to the races. There's probably more that we could do to leverage Avalonia. There's various things like the highlight brush and the color brush and things like that that are potentially worth adding in, and there's lots of cleanup and things that could be done if somebody wanted this, but I think this is a fairly good example of kind of the starting of building out a real application this way. There's a lot of concepts jam-packed into this little app. I'm happy with that. I hope that's helpful. I know a lot of times people get confused as far as seeing that kind of thing, but I think that goes well. I think that went well. And actually, this doesn't really matter either. We don't need to set the title anymore because that's immediately being overridden here. Actually, maybe we should do... No, empty title is going to look just fine. So we're going to do that. And then longer setting title. Now, my gut instinct says amend force push, but I'm not going to do that. I'll be good. I won't rewrite history. Even though it is my repo, I'll be nice. I won't rewrite history for anybody who happens to be going along looking at it. Okay, with that, hopefully that was interesting to people. As always, I love it when people send me requests as far as things that you want to see, content that you'd be interested in me covering. As always, if there's questions on this, you're looking at it later. Link will be in the video description if you are on YouTube watching this after the fact. Yeah, I think that went well. I got done more than I kind of expected to get done in, was it 2.5 hours or so. So, as always, happy coding. Check out all the links. Let me know what you think. We'll see everyone next time.